Hello, everybody. Welcome on back.
Hello, hello.
Hi, D. Oh, welcome back to And We Went Out Roving, where I take my lovely friends through a world and adventure where full of dark twists, turns, murder, mayhem, and all sorts of other hijinks and kerfuffles occur, and nothing terrible ever happens. Hello and welcome back.
You just contradict yourself.
Exactly. Because I never lie. I never tell a fib. Ever. Misinformation. Yes, hello everybody. Welcome back to And We Went Out Roving. We took a break last week because there was a couple of health things, and apparently Mondays are eternally scuffed for all sorts of different reasons. So had a little bit of break, but we are back this week with episode appointments, as our group is gathering around together in order to head off into Emrys proper to see the fallout after the departure, in quotation marks, of the merchant overdukes, as well as also having dinner with a friend of theirs, one particular wizard of Waterdeep known as Lucacius Drawn, and figuring out as to where are they heading next. Last time we had left off, the group had spent some time together discussing and planning out different preparations and where they were going to head on to next, in different discussions and planning things out, including recovering one of their missing friends who was locked within a small miniature jade tower within the undercroft of the Colosseum. Upon freeing them, they were able to gather together, and after a conversation with a few more individuals, including a long conversation between Sadis and Raya, as well as also then a continued one between Sadis and the Terrace, we know that at this point in time the group have had a chance to take a short rest, at least get back a little bit of strength after a long day, before gathering up their items and heading into Emrys proper, where they are heading to go and meet their compatriot, Lucacius Drawn, for an evening meal and dinner to discuss a couple of different things. So, that is a question. Is there anything else you would like to do before heading into the city itself, or do you want to just kind of mosey on into it?
I'm to mosey.
I'm happy to mosey.
All
Let's
right,
mosey.
you mosey on in. Mosey on over. The group at this point in time, then, heading into Embers proper, is definitely an interesting sight to behold. There's not a lot of chaos. There was not a lot of damage done to the city itself, except by the Colosseum proper. But there's certainly a bit more of a mess going on than expected and anticipated. Many of the guards seem to be struggling, as a number of them look to be in almost this partial fugue state still after the enchantment being lifted from them. You can see that there are different captains and watch commanders that are moving throughout the city, gathering up individual guards and testing to see whether or not if they actually are guards or if they're just imposters in some way, shape, or form. There is some significant amount of looting and haggling and bartering going on, but there's a fair bit of chaos to the city as the leaders of it have now vanished for at least the intents and purposes of the public. You all know the truth behind the matter itself, but it's certainly an interesting one to see how quickly that leadership disappears and how quickly things turn to chaos. But making your way through the city itself proper, you eventually find yourselves to the restaurant in which you had been. Oh, that's a question. Would he have invited you to a restaurant or to the? And he think he would have invited you to a restaurant in order to find some form of stability. So you all arrive at the restaurant itself, and you're directed up to the second floor, which has which is a very fine dining room itself that you can see a number of large tables set around. The customers this evening are certainly sparse. The lower level itself had a number of small singular tables, much drinking going on, and people trying to figure out as to how things were going to progress. But you are escorted up to the second floor, and off one of the far tables, you see Lucatius Strawn as well as also his compatriot. The two of them sitting together at that point in time and waving in discussion before waving you over to join them. Drinks are Serene never steals, you mean. Drinks are provided for all of you as you come to the table, water, and as well as also glasses and goblets for wine or ale if you're so interested. But it's a brief moment of peace as you sit down. Lucatius greeting everybody. You all came, good. I'm very glad to see you all still together in one full piece. I hope that the remnants of the evening haven't proved too trialsome for all of you at this point.
Thankfully, we are in one piece, though one of our compatriots has gone on a bit of a journey.
Then I wish them all the luck, and I can certainly understand why this is a tumultuous time and change abounds for everyone at this point. In fact, that was one reason as to why I wish to ask you all for this evening meal itself, but that can perhaps wait unless you wish to dispense with business immediately and wait until after a more pleasant meal.
I think we can wait as I kind of look to the rest of us, see how they're reacting.
We can afford a meal. It's been some time since we've had one without any form of concern.
Very well. Go ahead.
I see no problem with it.
Very well. Then, of course, partake as much as you wish. It is on me for this fine evening. And although don't go breaking my pocket bank too much, there would certainly don't necessarily want to have to be charged for 5 or 6, 7 bottles of fine silvery moon elven wine. Certainly you can understand that.
So don't think we will go
Relax.
too far tonight.
He like waves over the waiter and begins ordering at least a couple drinks over while Serene turns to all of you. You were all quite talented within the Coliseum fights. I had only hoped that it had ended not the way that it did, but you are all to be quite well lauded for your skills and rising to the challenges that were laid before you. Well done indeed. You've definitely caught the attention of more than a few interested folks and parties. And I don't believe we've had the chance to meet. Allegan, I have met at Terrace, but would you care to introduce your fine compatriot? She turns towards Raya.
This is Raya de Silva, a incredibly talented, both a performer as well as adventurer. He has quite a variety of skills that he has put into rather esteemed use during our escapade with the Dukes as well as the after.
Surely with fine number of skills, no doubt indeed.
The doctor's is actually pretty generous with his praise, but I do get the job done.
Oh, I'm certain. Well, it is a pleasure to meet you, Raya de Silva. And she will
Actually-
extend her hand towards you.
Raya's going to shake her hand. Actually, does she look like she recognizes the last name at all?
Make an insight check.
Alright, first roll's looking pretty good. 25.
25. Serene does not look like she recognizes the last name, but I would say with the 25, you would tell that Lucasius's head kind of perks up a little bit at the name before hiding it very quickly.
Raya just... Oh, damn. Sorry. Raya just simply shakes her hand. Giving her for a handshake. It's like... So... how'd you end up meeting Dr. Allegan?
Well, Dr. Alekin is actually, we've met a few different times before as he spoke at a number of different conferences within Waterdeep, and he was certainly put forward a number of different ideas that bear some amount of merit to them, and as one would be, as with those within the more learned schools of magic, it is always a good idea to keep note of those that have a few more polarizing ideas than many others would typically look to embark upon. I
See
am.
that he just mouths polarizing as she says that.
I myself am not a particular follower of magical schools themselves. I am talented enough of a swords lady, but more than anything else, I act as a primary companion and compatriot and guard for Lucasius Strawn, who has taken a much more significant interest into Allegan than, at least in terms of the magical schools, as it were. He's been the one who has at least taken the opportunity and time in order to find Dr. Hugh's work quite interesting. I still bear a few reservations, but I am also understanding and accepting the fact that without some form of stressful environments and difficulties, that is how one continues to make discoveries. So long as he continues in a way and manner that ensures the safety of those around him, then I have Dr. Q as much success as I can possibly endeavor upon him. Lucasius gives this light snort. It's like, your family are less kind than mine, but I certainly I'm more than happy to assuage any misgivings you might have about Dr. Hugh. He is a talented mind and one that certainly would rub some the wrong way, but I think he shows much promise in his work.
You see that Allegan kind of is a little stiff, but smiles at her assessment. It's not for everyone.
Magic in at least the various different schools rarely is, and there have always been more than a few moments in time where earlier properties and discoveries have been met with derision and scorn that have later proved to be some of the most useful magics that we now know and use in every way, shape, and form of modern day life. Continual lights, even the mending of wounds through magic, as well as also more than a fair share of different transmutation spells. And I know that there are more than a few fair amount villages and even towns that have been thankful for wizards being able to bring about destruction through fire or lightning in order to defend against hordes of monsters or rampaging ferocious individuals. So I, for one, am happy and to continue looking to encourage your path, Mr. Hugh.
Necessity is the mother of invention.
Quite indeed. And speaking of which, you have more than a fair share of interesting contraptions upon yourself. And you see his nose all of a sudden like slightly crinkles. It's
Oh,
what
does
is that?
he?
What is?
Does,
Why do you smell faintly of glue?
Why do you smell faintly?
oh, you just see Raya just go from just really normal to having like the biggest shit-eating grin on his face. Tell me, sir, are you interested? Are you familiar with Trashmancer by the name of Gordo? He's a raccoon tenebrine, but
You see Lucasius's face just drop,
He
and
is infamous in many circles.
and just like the pinching of the the bridge of the nose, it just. Oh no.
oh, I see you met him. Now,
I am indeed familiar with his work. Yes.
Or that don't choke too hard on that word. It will be a bit difficult.
It's like, admittedly, it's like a lot of his creations are very rough out around the edges, but they have saved my life several times. Saved the life of my compatriots as well.
I don't deny their effectiveness, but there is the unfortunate. They do have a bit of a crudeness and unrefinement to their edges, which has certainly made them a unpopular. What would be the term? Point of discussion amongst the different academical circles.
I understand that much, but there's a market for everything right there. And what was that you were just saying about some of the some fields of studies that were met with disdain end up being valuable later on?
I am not. I will, as insofar as I'm presuming that you have used more than a few of those in the Colosseum itself, then I can only presume that yes, his work does bear some form of level of competence, but there's certainly also a point in where marketing such things to individuals, especially within the city of Waterdeep, could certainly cause a greater stir. But I would not be surprised if there is room for inventions such as his, so long as they are properly given a fair safety regulation around.
Yes, yes, of course. Because as say, and Raya, uncharacteristically, recites the warning on the G12 with machine gun accuracy, and then it's like, or something like that. He read it so many times. As in, the Gordo Technomancy Incorporated is not responsible for any loss of limbs, loss of hearings, concussions, memory loss, sight loss, any other permanent effects of death, and as a result, use of the patented G12 explosive compound or any other instruments from Gordo Technomancy Incorporated.
You hear Serene choke on her drink.
Ateris is covering her face to try and hide a grin.
He sounds like a charming individual.
Yeah. Yes, but I think we had talked enough about him right there. Don't want to spoil the appetite.
You still haven't explained as to why you smell of glue.
Do you really want the answer to that?
No, I don't think so. If that is the way you would respond to that, I think it's perhaps better left unsaid. Waiter! Which the waiter comes over at this point in time and brings over what this point looks to be a number of different baskets loaded with breadsticks and a number, like you can see, like passed alongside a small plate of butter, as well as also a pair of dipping sauces, one which looks white and one which looks a little bit more like tomatoey red.
I'm so sorry, but until you mentioned the dipping sauces, my brain instantly went to Olive Garden.
Hush. Olive Garden is the fanciest place around. That's what, like, look, by comparison, Olive Garden would be pretty fancy.
Unlimited
kind of
pasta pass.
Okay.
But the waiter brings over, and then takes all of your food orders.
Keep going.
Yep. So yeah, the waiter takes all your different food orders, departs. Then you return to faint, idle kind of chit chat back and forth. Are there any questions you would ask of Serene or Lucasius in kind of the more chit chatty, very pleasant evening itself?
I think with her assessment of Allegan would be a little more quiet while she is here.
Fair enough.
Kind of waiting for that moment.
Fair.
I think a terrace would probably just chat about the different fights and things like that with Serene. She still isn't sure how she feels about Lucasius, but she vibes with Serene.
With that, I would say, like, for you, would recognize Serene, while she probably is, you get the feeling that Serene is probably an Eldritch Knight. She has some limited talent in terms of magic, but is primarily more of that of a fighter than anything else. Like, you can tell that there's some elements maybe in training of Blade Song, but she is a more martial individual than anything else. With that, then, the meal continues, and Lucasius is definitely still fairly, not quiet, but he's definitely a more difficult individual for you to read. But it is a very pleasant evening for you all at this point in time, before you see Serene's head kind of perk up, and Lucasius as well as him. We do have one final guest joining us this evening, but Serene, would you be so kind as to go ahead and collect them? And she gives a nod to Tibbs. The meal itself is quite good. For us, we would call it kind of Mediterranean Italian. So it would be pastas. You would have fish fresh from the lake, fried with like lemon and rosemary and different spices. You would have tomatoes and like kind of late harvest tomatoes. The first of the kind of the late summer squashes that are coming in zucchini.
You are
like a
breaking
butternut
up a
squash
little
puree.
bit.
Sorry,
Yeah,
my fault.
you're not quite.
I am mumbling a little bit as well. My fault. Yeah.
No.
All right, that's better. Yes.
Yes.
So it's like fish, pasta, fresh tomatoes, pureed squash. It's a very, very fine, pleasant, like late harvest meal at this point in time that is presented to all of you, and it's a very welcome respite before you see Serene coming back with a woman dressed in a mixture. You see her coming back with an elven woman, with long, pale blonde hair, about a little taller than Serene herself. So she's probably about 6'4", 6'5". Has a faint gown of white overflowing what appears to be like faint loose chainmail. Looks to be that of a very fine mithril make, and you would see the emblem of Silvery Moon upon the clavicle.
This immediately catches Ateris's attention.
Okay, just make sure I have her name. One word. Alright. Let's see, so need this for inhabitants. She is introduced as Shalestra Thornhand, and one of the Shalestra Thornhand. I will go ahead and I will put that name into the archives.
I ever heard that name.
Yeah,
Make
same
a
with...
history check. Both of you can go ahead and make history checks.
History, dirty 20.
Okay.
that is also a dirty 20.
Both of you would recognize the name vaguely as an individual who is, again, Ellen, they are one of Silvery Moon's nobles, not necessarily like super high up the echelon, but at least one who is well regarded and well respected, primarily because they have been a knight captain within the Guard of Silvery Moon for an extended period of time, and they are known for being an individual who seeks out and deals with threats further afield from Silvery Moon than most that would typically be up closer towards like Mirabar, Adbar, and similar. This is someone who's more well traveled further afield, as like closer to like a knight captain investigator.
Would if that's the case, how long have they been in that position, and would Ateris had to have deal with them or communicate with them before the fall?
you may have had some very light encounter with them. You would have known that your commander had more of a significant encounter with them during the either during the fall of Elturel or just before it, during the when it was overtaken by the vampiric individuals.
Mhm.
She is one who is. She typically does not feel heavy forces from afar. She usually is more of an investigator and intelligence operator, and usually works with a small team to gather information, intel, and report back to Layrel, Silverhand, and similar. But you've not necessarily had of her. You personally have not had significant interaction with her.
No.
I think Brian would just swallow his food and just give a nod and wave at her with a smile. Like, oh, pleasure to meet you.
And likewise to meet all of you. I do not intend to be too much of intrusion, but I was invited by Lucasius for at least to take part in someone's meal, as there are certainly circumstances that I am apprised of, especially as to what has happened of this occurrence of late. May I join you?
Yes. Go on. He just choose the empty seat next to him.
She will take the chair and sit down very gracefully. Raya, you notice that she does not, at least from what you can tell, does not carry any weapons on her. But she does move with an extensive grace and fluidity that certainly bears some amount of marking of a trained fighter.
Noted.
Yes, well, and this is Lucasia speaking, as Shalestra is, please do not mind me inviting her. Now as we've had our fill, and I know dessert is waiting for everyone, and they do quite a fine dessert here as well. But there is a task I want to speak about business, perhaps a little bit, if we don't mind. You are all, as you know, individuals that participated in the events at the Colosseum itself, and certainly at the very least there has been a bit of an upcry and upstir amongst the more learned individuals as to the appearance of whatever this construct was and the significant damage it could have done were it not for groups intervening in the space and time that it required in order to help prevent its rampage through the nearby city. In the process, it was certainly revealed, as your group did show, that the merchant overdukes of this city were individuals that were in cahoots, and you see he shudders slightly at the term, with that of Tiamat, or at least in her followers in one way, shape, or form, and now have unfortunately, been able to bewitch much of the significant god of this city, as well as also keep a stranglehold on its coffers for whoever knows how long. Certainly a significantly long period of time that much of the city itself apparently has very little in terms of funding in order to keep itself stable and settling. Now we have more than a few problems at our fingertips. Now the city no longer having a centralized leadership, then will be significant turmoil in the nearby area. There is certainly more than a few hands that have already been reaching out in terms of being able to perhaps supply some form of knowledgeable hand to guide Emrys as it continues on with its location, locale, and stability, but there will be significant turmoil in the time for the city to come. That is not as to why I wish to speak to all of you. The construct and the individuals that summoned it caused a great stir of unease through more than a few number of parties. And certainly, at least at this point of time, your group appears to be one of the most well fit at this point of time to be able to, well, continue to investigate and perhaps eventually deal with this, whatever source may have conjured up such a monstrosity. Our first choice would have been the War Mothers, but more than a few of them fell in the fight against this creature, and they are in no longer any shape to continue fight against it. As far as we can tell, one of them, at least one, if not both of them, intend to take up some form of residence here within Emrys to perhaps aid some form of stability. We are already reaching out to an individual here who has made it very clear that they opposed the Grand Merchant Dukes for some period of time, and they were looking for perhaps a knight commander of their own to aid in stability. So there's possibilities and works there. The Bound Words appear to be disbanding, at least as much as they, or at least out of action for a period of time with the death of their compatriot, and are returning to the east towards the west for a significant period of time. Your group, although it has lost a member, still seems as if it maintains great cohesion. And as far as what has been informed to me, you've all been able to have significant interactions with what has been happening insofar of late. Is this true? He looks to Al again, Terra, and Raya.
Now, when you say interactions, you say it like something like, is if you know of something like this that happens similarly elsewhere.
Something such as this, or perhaps that there was a significant festival taking place within a near enough by enough city that was perhaps going to have a significant unfortunate series of events occurs were it not for a group of individuals that apparently broke up a significant cultist group within the borders of the city during a festival, as well as also then that there's been whispers and rumors of more than a few names and bounties put out upon heads within the more darker groups amongst that are interested in perhaps seeing those of your group removed from the public eye.
Wait a minute. You're saying we have bounties?
Brian, we knew this.
No. Yeah, okay, no. This is the first time. Okay, you're saying that we actually have bounties, but
The Zentarim have been after our heads for some time now.
and yet there's not a single wanted poster or amount that I've seen right there.
It's the Zentarim.
This is not something that would be posted on in terms of a bounty board amongst the local populace. This would be something more making its way through the various different connections of the underworld, where... And it is not one that has happened significantly of late. It's only been of a much more recent development sometime within the last week or so.
Ryan looks a little bit more annoyed by the fact that he does not have a wanted poster that warrants this than anything else. he's just grumbling about how it could have been an awesome souvenir.
We're already tracking the groups responsible, and if that was your concern.
Regardless, and suffice it to say, you've certainly apparently have already made a significant enemy to whatever or different creatures or groups that may be behind this recent string of events, as well as also being able to stick your nose into things that many of the seedier underside would prefer you did not, and that can be quite a talent for those that are looking to do some good in the world. You are also the only group, as far as I can tell, that is still coherent enough and was able to complete the Colosseum through its various different challenges, while all the others were eliminated in some form or fashion, either for not being quick enough, clever enough, understanding of circumstance, and making full use of what they had available to them in order to succeed and pass the trials. In other words, and you'll see as Shalestra at this point that picks up, there has been more than a few that has been aware of the work done by you and your groups, and certainly letters and deeds have been marked as done, and there are parties that cannot be everywhere at once. I am one such myself, and while I can do a much good work here within nearby, I am not intimately familiar with the border kingdoms. I would need and perhaps request in some way, shape, or form some significant group that could pass information to me, as well as eventually perhaps look to aid and build them in creating a stable structure that could be used to root out whatever this significant source of corruption is. Especially as it apparently seems to deal with those of the older ages of magic, especially those of the Netheries. As such, and Serene looks over to you and says, we would like to offer you an appointment and an official duty and capacity, and as requisitioners and investigators with imbued and endowed by authority from both Waterdeep and from Silvery Moon to investigate the root and cause of these strings of events and see it rooted out and eliminated.
So same as what we're doing now, but with an official title.
With official title from both Waterdeep and Silvery Moon.
Does that include official pay for it as well?
That can be in discussion, certainly.
I'd be more interested in equal exchange of information rather than just us feeding you information.
That would be certainly part of the information exchange, absolutely. I find it best that those I work with do best while giving information and being able to work independently, but having all the tools at their disposal. Lucacius and Soreen have vouched for the efficiency and trustworthiness of your group. And with that, I would be willing to put at your disposal various resources that would allow you to be able to travel more freely within the border kingdoms, as well as offer a safe place to reside if you would so need it.
Raya will look at Ateris and Allegan.
I think
That is
Ateris would
incredibly
nod.
generous.
I'm aware of the job these
While-
people do.
While generous, it is also does come with significant responsibility, especially in regards to the safety and protecting of the livelihoods of many common folk, as well as also the understanding that it comes with a responsibility and duty to perhaps make the sacrifices in the pursuit of seeing a larger evil thwarted.
Understood.
These sacrifices entail, just in case they're not something that we're already doing.
The sacrifices would be primarily that if there was a situation where you are asked to chase and defeat whatever it is this evil might be, and the saving of a village, you would be asked to see the village eliminated if it gave you the better chance of eliminating whatever that evil may be.
That sounds fair.
One of the reasons we ask you of this is because I maintain a certain amount of protection for the city of Waterdeep along with Soreen, while Shalestra is one who works farther afield for Silvery Moon, but we are, as we said, strangers in a stranger-ish land, and it is much more of a useful and wise use of resources to outsource the work and see to those that might actually be a much more successful group and familiar with the layout of the land than necessarily those who are immediately coming in and attempting to throw authority around. The authority that we would grant you, while you would have to deal with your own border kingdom individuals as it is, would allow you to speak with and ask assistance of individuals from Waterdeep, Silvery Moon, Luskin, and the like. Those amongst the alliance of the free cities of the Sword Coast, certainly. Adbar, Citadel Adbar, Mirabar, and the Dwarven Kingdoms are more slow and methodical in this regard, but if we can get them on board as well, you would have their beneficiary as well. It won't be an easy task by all things, and it certainly seems that whatever is causing this is of a significant enough power to draw many individuals beneath its banner. So it may very well take some time, and I would be very careful in how you go about these things, but this would be a task I ask of your group, as you have so far provided any of it that we could ask for in seeing such a task completed and done.
Also realize that we did most of these things to save our own asses, correct?
We do, but adversity tends to breed the strongest of wills and minds, and talents tend to flourish under adverse conditions, as well as also give the opportunity and chance for new studies to be brought to life and see as to how far they can truly make worth the while.
I think that in particular would catch Ateris's attention, and her eyes would immediately go to Allegan before returning to Shalestra. It's clear that you would have done your own research on us, which would make sense as to why you are willing to check whether we would be up to making our sacrifices, though I'm sure you already know. You have sitting here someone who experienced the fall, a scholar dabbling in the frankly controversial topics, and a charge who is exceptionally talented but does not have any particular strong ties to king or kingdom. You've already no doubt seen the sacrifices we have made already. So why ask if you know?
Politeness, more than anything else. As one can make a demanding order of individuals and situations where they may do more harm than good, but that is not to deny that there is not talent and otherwise within those before us, and certainly at least enough that names and attentions have been caught for the Stitch Wizard, for the Horned Huntress, and the son of the Silver Fisher. Of the son of the Kingfisher, excuse me.
Riot was kind of had just like had a polite smile for a while, and it gets very much more strained.
Yes,
Oh,
there is information put out on all of you at this point of time, but there is certainly more than a few that have reservations still on if you would be better to kept out of line of sight and out of mind.
And
I
do you
am one that
really
is also
think that
very
we would be
fully aware.
capable of that?
I think that I am one that has lived their life in the exploration and study of creatures farther afield and know that desperate circumstances can breed inventiveness much more so than might be asked of a commercial soldiery or citizenry. It is fine work done by paladins and clerics alike to wave a hand and proclaim a crusade against evil. But it is the thinkers and the inventive and those that look for the out of the ordinary that typically have the best chance of success when something is not working in the normal ways. So we turn to adventurer groups that, far more than anything else, provide themselves to be, in many cases, reliable and capable thinkers, especially outside of the box.
That is a very flowery political way of saying we're the ones that will do the dirty work, we're others.
She gives you a very, very calm smile.
I've worked
what the
with
hell?
that before. It's clear that by now, whether we want it or not, more and more will know our names. So, I'm in.
I have a low life expectancy anyway, and I constantly like proving it wrong, so I'm in.
You are all all incredibly dour, and that is saying something coming from me. Why are we all expecting to die immediately?
I said I had a low life expectancy, not that I was expecting to die.
Dearest,
that's
when did I
literally
speak
what that
of death? Our names will be known, whether we like it or not, but that's nothing to do with death.
I mean, it's a little bit to do with death.
We just...
Stop preparing to die immediately. I'm in, but like, maybe don't write our gravestones yet.
I don't plan to write my gravestone until I've traveled all over this place and I'm at least pushing 90, trying to go everywhere with a walking stick. We can do this. I'm in.
All I meant to say is that while I have experience long past in the flowery language of politics, this life suits me much better. And if it is something we are already doing, I don't see the difference in any of this other than we have more resources at our aid. So I see no complaints.
Fair enough.
Get like a special badge or something, or is it just this in public? This relationship technically doesn't exist.
There's a faint kind of like a chuckle from Lucacius, and Serene gives Raya a smile. Would you like a badge?
No, I wouldn't know where to put it.
I mean,
Could add it
something
to your
official may be
collection.
useful. Okay, all jokes aside, that might actually be useful if we need to do things on an official bar.
An official draft will be written up for your group and signed by myself, Lucacius, and Celestra, so that it is known to be the actual official appointment. As such, we would then ensure that most likely we would provide you all with other forms of identification so that you're not walking around carrying a fully official writ form that might be pickpocketed at any time. With this, though, we can certainly enact in some way, shape, or form an agreement as to compensation. If you want to, we can look into coin, items, materials, an abode that would allow for workstations and a place of safety for your group if that is what you would require. But we shall first indeed set up the draft itself so that you may have it available to you all. Would that sound appropriate? Would say a payment of 500 gold pieces a week be an appropriate compensation for undertaking this task? As well as also an abode that would allow you to be able to have a safe haven in case of necessary times of hiding or otherwise, whether it be for rest
the
or
only ones permitted to this abode?
and whoever you would invite with you, as well as also it would require a certain amount of interaction between Lucacius and Celestra as a point of contact, certainly. We would be able to equip it with a teleportation circle or messenger pigeons and birds of other, in some way, shape, or form, certainly, so that contact could be continued to enlist.
I would be happy to forego my personal stipend should that instead be exchanged for protection to family.
And I would as well.
Would you want the family to be gathered in the same locale, or simply for protection to be assigned to them?
Protection to be assigned to them. You would have some difficulty getting Mama to leave her shop.
And Ella from school these days.
We can certainly see to it.
Don't look at me. It's like everyone I care about can take care of themselves, and would be kind of offended if I even suggested that for them.
Very well. Then I shall depart and let you return to your meal while I acquire approval from my commander, as well as also then continue to draw up the writ that you will all need. Have a wonderful rest of your meal, and I wish you all the best of luck. Shalestra stands at this point in time and gives you all a light nod of the head. Locations, Serene. It was a pleasure to meet the three of you. Have a good night.
I'll give a polite bow.
And Shalestra at the point in time would walk around the table and head down the steps from which they had entered up into, leaving you all three once more with Lucasius and Serene.
She's pleasant.
She's paranoid. But most in her line of work do not get forward without some form of paranoia.
I mean, fair enough in these times. It is valuable to be paranoid.
Quite. But yes, she is indeed a charming individual and has spent several hundred years, at the very least, navigating the courts of Silvery Moon, as well as also local politics in various different locales. Although I do believe that this is only her second trip to the Border Kingdoms. There apparently is usually too much constant warfare and infighting going on here to actively give a sense of anyone having some form of significant claim here that would warrant investigation. But now that it has proven to be a hotbed for cult work, then the Eye of Silvery Moon certainly has turned this way at the very least.
Right. Actually, would Raya be aware of the last? Would Raya have been alive the last time the Border Kingdoms went to war? Or had these skirmishes?
Technically, Border Kingdoms are almost like permanently at war in some way, shape, or form. Like there's not ever like a huge war going on. There might be one soon because Emrys no longer has like an actual figurehead at this point in time. But you know that the 7-point streams are almost always in some flux of border skirmishes in some way, shape, or form. It's a land that is not overall too kind in terms of the constant sense and state of things coming to a calm bit in peace.
You know what? I would rather this be a romance of kingdoms instead of a border kingdoms.
But yeah, usually the Sword Point streams has like constant skirmishes along. The same thing with like the Grand Duchy of Chantal and the Barony of Great Oak. Obel is usually in some way, shape, or form involved in one kerfuffle or scuffle in some way, shape, or form. but it's usually along the whole River Selptar. There's a fair number of skirmishes. When you get further afield, to the largest one of recent time and memory was when Miranjar tried to take over Yalash, which was like Aderglass, the land of mages, and similar things like that. That was a fairly large kerfuffle. Derlusk and the areas by Felstrun have usually stayed pretty quiet. Things along like on the buried Black Saddle and the realm of the Ready Sword, that deals much more frequently with like nomad and barbarian raids than it does necessarily in terms of actual infighting. But it's kind of like this whole middle section of like Emerus, Obol, Black Blade, Sorndern, Arthen, Thor that usually get to pissing matches with each other.
I see. All right.
But there's also enough wildness to it that it's kind of a whole big mess right here in the middle of the border kingdoms.
Well, is there any more business that we need to discuss, or do you think it's time for dessert?
Well, this is always time for dessert, and Lucasius waves over the waiter, and you're all then provided various different menus again, and various different desserts are provided: ice cream, jellied fruits, and similar various different like small candies and the like. Before Serene's head perks up again, and she turns to Lucasius, and if you would pardon me, I need to depart. There's a situation that requires my attention. And Lucasius gives her a light nod, which she gets up and departs.
You require
I hope-
assistance?
No, it's a missive has come in that I need to review, and it is apparently from a more interested source as to an ongoing matter within Waterdeep that requires attention. Do have a good rest of your evening if I don't return, and I very much so wish you all the best, and most likely you will receive the writ from Shalestra in the morning. Wherever you do depart off to next, I do wish you all the very best and good luck in this endeavor. It will not be easy.
And you with yours.
Best things ever are.
At which point then she turns and departs, leaving Lucasius to finish his affogato at that point. As he looks over all of you and kind of folds his hand in front of his ice cream and espresso at the point and said, I hope then at least that this will prove to be advantageous for all of us. It is an unfortunate circumstance that it is an occurrence even in the first place, but that is the nature of the realms itself, where there's a constant bickering and infighting and between different groups seeking power in one way, shape, or form, or otherwise, and delving into lost lore, the like, or similar. And insofar, you have all proven to be capable enough in what are dealing with. So, for that at least, you have my confidence.
I am trying my best to give the safety that you have provided us at the academy wherever we go. And this is just a part of it.
Which I do understand and thank you for. It is certainly not something that is ever simple or easy in any matter, for any number of different reasons. Especially when one's families are concerned in the protection of those close to them. But if something isn't done, then that requires the diversion of resources from elsewhere, and that can cause its own significant trials and tribulations.
Then let us get through this as quickly as we can. And hopefully by the end of it, these organizations will think thrice before revealing themselves from the deep again.
There will always be something, but it is the duty of many like us in order to ward civilization and the lights within it against the growing outside dark. I think you know something of that, Ateris, or at least you did in the past, certainly.
All too well.
He gives you a very light nod. Are there any other questions I can answer for you this evening, Dad, before I depart? I will be traveling back to Waterdeep on the morrow as to make my report and to begin dealing with paperwork once more. But at least while I'm here in the meantime, I can render some aid, I believe.
I have no inquiries that are relevant.
I have sent a thing in
Yes.
Terrace's Lodge that will determine. I think a Terrace sort of makes direct eye contact with him. And very kind of nonchalantly, as she peeks at her own dessert while she's staring at him. And how much of your conversation with Dr. Hugh is Silvery Moon aware of?
Limited amounts. Although that is not necessarily saying they may not have made their own inquiries through the college or research otherwise. But the conversation that I have maintained with Allegan has been private between us.
And I would like to keep it that way, if you might, as I look over to a terrace.
That is what I am hoping.
But I would not be surprised if she and Laurel know a significant portion, or at least have some base understanding. As I said to Misty Q, and to your group in general, you've begun to pull a number of eyes and attention towards you, especially now that you have won this Colosseum event underneath the gaze of a number of different interested entities and powers. Your names are certainly, if not at least once marked for watching, have been marked to keep a careful eye on at the very least.
You mentioned that the latest bounty is new. Are you aware of who has made it?
I have not made inquiries yet as who has specifically made and posted the bounty, but I do know that at least that there is a current bounty offered of 3,000 gold for Ryan Silva, 4,000 for a terrace, and 4,700 for Allegan. Allegan's is the only one that is specified as to be brought alive.
Unsurprising.
Oh,
I'm only worth 3,000 gold?
I think I know who
Yeah. Okay, no, that's
Do you having real big like Luffy bounty boards at this point? Like,
no, it's I
this
feel
is
like
very
I feel like
much
Sanji right now. I
This
feel like
is-
Sanji right now. Just
this is very much along the same lines of they can never get my nose right. Oh,
you know what? It's fine. It's
Okay.
fine. It's fine. It does not bother me. It does not bother me. It's a lie. It
literally
bothers
see
me
your
a
eye
lot.
twitching.
Yes, it actually bothers me a lot. I'm hoping if I say it doesn't bother me enough, it doesn't. It's like it will eventually not bother me.
just think of it this way: they are underestimating you.
Yeah, cool. Good. Make sure when I die, I actually get my bounty right.
It means you can prove them wrong.
So, that distinct thing out of the way. Those are the. It's just those parties that want us, so to speak, in an official capacity.
As far as I can tell, if you wish to, I can make more extensive inquiries.
Nope, that's fine. I can find out on my own. Plus,
Again, I think that might be our friends from the last festival we crashed.
more than
Mm,
likely.
very much aware.
Oh, actually, so Lacacious, I do have one question.
Yes.
Was my name curious to you through reputation or to the reputation of someone close to me?
I am moderately familiar with the name De Silva, as it crops up in time to time from in books regarding those of grand thieves, but more often than not, in terms of those at least, are implied as fanciful story tales and the like. But usually when the name repeats itself or shows up more often than is expected, there is very much so always the likelihood that there can be some connection drawn from all sorts.
All right, that's all.
Suffice it to say, the name De Silva has been a name that has shown up for a number of years, and in terms in books and stories of grand thieves making daring heists and escapades and the like, usually each more grander and greater than the last. So I'm curious then if whether or not you will live up to your moniker, or if someone bestowed it upon you as for a different reason.
Raya says nothing.
Fine then, keep your secrets.
imagine there's
But-
a number of reasons.
Indeed. But suffice it to say, if you would also wish, I am departing for Waterdeep on the morrow. If you would like, I can either offer a way to as transportation to a different city before I make my full departure, or perhaps you would wish to travel afield with yourselves before to decide as to where you are heading next in terms of your investigations. Serene will be here within the city for at least a short period of time to aid in trying to attempt to restore some amount of civility and stability to it. In some, at least in some way, shape, or form in that regard. While Celestra will, as Serene said, will most likely deliver your writ on the morning. But it is a strange and dark time that is looming and lingering on the horizon indeed. And I hope that you are all up to the task.
We have been so far.
We will see.
Did you and
look
the
at-
doctor require a private conversation before you depart?
I would like to discuss with him things. Yes.
Of course, my door is always open for you.
And then, Raya, perhaps you can accompany me to the shopping district.
Actually, that'll be a good idea. I need to head someplace else before the night's over anyway.
All right. Then the two of you stand and depart out, leaving Lucasius and Allegan. Which I think we'll take a quick break here since it's 6 o'clock. And then we will come back. We will continue on with the conversation between Allegan and Lucasius and then find out what Ryan and Terrace are buying.
Yeah. Alright, gang. We will be right back.
We all know what it is. It's backpack leashes.
Oh my god.
Gotta control them. Raya's in jail now because he doesn't like Cheez-Its.
Doesn't like Cheez-Its and apparently load-bearing lesbians. This was the context I was given with no other context.
What, bro? You can't just say that right there. You. Oh my god.
That's on the internet for everyone to hear.
Ta-da!
It's fine.
It's totally fine. No one will ever know.
No one.
But yes,
will
hi
ever
everybody,
know.
welcome back. No. We had last left off after the group was appointed to be an investigative unit, perhaps endowed with the power of, or at least the somewhat right of authority by Silvery
Oh,
Moon and
shit.
Waterdeep.
We can't do this,
Yeah.
otherwise we'll become cops.
You effectively became cops.
No!
Yes,
I was
my
going
grand
to be-
master plan revealed.
Not gonna lie, I thought it was just more in a lines of private investigators.
It is more in line with private investigators because you're not necessarily going around and arresting random citizenry for no good reason.
Also, I also don't think we're necessarily investigating as much as we are doing the dirty work of taking care of business. We
It can be
are
both.
the goons.
Home Depot song increases in volume.
No,
Do we?
Okay.
No, you're
Okay,
the.
so
No, you're all.
Wait, does that mean
I've said
mine
this
is
before, you're all in
replaced
the
with Bunny's
Pinkertons.
track? Oh god.
I am not. Do not call me a fucking Pinkerton.
Taking care of business.
You can't call me a Pinkerton. I'm black.
All right, but last we had left off, the group had just accepted an appointment to basically go after a cultist group or various different cultist group, whatever power it be that is pushing the chess pieces along this board itself. And Ateris and Raya, after taking their leave, are heading towards one of the nearby shopping districts, while Allegan remains behind to have a conversation with Lucacius Drawn. Yes, hello, Figaro. Hi, buddy. So, Allegan, as you sit there with Lucacius, he gives you a bit of a...
What?
Picture I'm black.
Oh,
Allegan, as you
I
sit
love
there
when
with...
autoprep does things.
Yeah, you sit there with Lucacius. He gives you a slight... he gives you a slight smile. I did inform you that you were drawing a number of different eyes and attention, and honestly, I'm surprised that they haven't done a move like this, and even before we spoke.
Like I said before, I'm not surprised. I think the most surprising thing about that was how low the amounts were.
Well, when they feel as if they have you over a barrel, they try to lowball you as much as they can. Politics remains the same.
Mm.
The barest necessities in order to get things done. As I said, you
However-
do still have my full support, and if there is any arcane implements that you would require to further see this project through to completion, you need merely ask, and I will see what I can do about acquiring them for you.
I do have a question of how much you trust this new player.
Shalestra, I trust to have the interest of Silvery Moon in mind. Which means, more than
The
anything
Knight
else, the Knight Captain, she's devoted to her task in rooting out significant threats that, especially those that seem to be targeting major populations, and especially if they might then intend to try to turn their sights towards Silvery Moon or its nearby holdings. it would certainly not bode well for them if they were to relax their guard only to have an unfortunate event rise up in their midst and cause significant damage as well. And certainly at least the elves have taken a more significant interest of late due to how much do you know of elven arcane magics and the like?
The personal magics I have not dug into too much, but I know of, I guess, the general.
In particular, many of the older schools of magic, in the elven magics that it is, took significant interest in artifacts of old, such as in Mithranor and the likewise, where there were objects known as Mythalar and similar that maintained and held significant energy within them, and to be able to, of the such and size, to be able to allow entire cities to float. Much of these were then much more well and truly known amongst those of Netheri's magical schools, but the ones within Mithranor and similar allowed for the manipulation of weather events and similar in a significant radius. I would not be surprised if, with the arrival of such a monstrosity as that construct, that they are significantly interested in it because of its connection to Netheries and perhaps other ancient artifacts or objects that were left behind, especially ones that have been well hidden enough by this council of merchant dukes that I'm sure there may be significant interest as to whatever may lie beneath the surface here. It seemed as if there were a fair number of winding temples within the lower reaches and realms of this area that more than a few interested parties would have had a piqued interest. So I can suffice it to say that Silvery Moon looks to protect their own interests, and if that, in the process, ends up eliminating what could be a significant threat, then all the better for them. So I trust her to serve her own interests more than anything else. In the interests of her.
Us or whoever we face. I do not think she trusts our group to be stable.
Very likely, but as I said, she is one who is more paranoid. I do not think that she would trust any group that she did not handpick herself, and especially one to hire an outside adventuring group where many other adventuring groups are known to be greedy individuals or out for their own material or attempt to gain power in some shape or form. I know that she would agree to this only simply because of the fact that if she believes that she can control the situation in somehow or some way or direction, or at least, at the very least, keep tabs on it and make it a situation that would not play out in its final remnants well for you or your compatriots. But there's always the possibility of other ulterior motives.
And do you know how much knowledge she has of my research?
Only what you have shown through or shared through different theoretical discussions. I do not believe that she is aware of your particular endeavor at this specific time, or rather that perhaps you are looking in the investigation of and expanding and influencing different magical sources, but the exactness of what you are doing at this point in time, I believe, escapes her.
Can I make a motion to Lucasius to... What I'm trying to do is kind of like mimic his casting style when he casted the privacy wards when we were talking previously.
Sure.
Would you?
Go ahead and make a intelligence-based sleight of hand check.
Okay. That's not bad. So I use my intelligence modifier rather than my sleight of hand?
So are you trained in sleight of hand?
No.
Then just make an intelligence check.
Okay. That would be 19.
19. He would recognize it, seeing like you're kind of the actual influence. And you see his hand mimics a very similar motion, and there's a sudden pressure against your ears.
So with that, we can speak freely. I've had quite a few breakthroughs since we last spoke.
Indeed, it's only been a short time, but understandable. It was a
Including
rather stressful environment you were in.
Have you ever... Perhaps you should see for yourself, and I will roll up my sleeve so that he may cast his magics on my arm again.
I can only do a bare casting here. Something of the more significant variety would require more larger space, but he reached out his hand. You can recognize the symbol, this similar telltale signs of like detect magic and identify, kind of going through the motions. You see his muttering, and the eyes glaze and flash over with different magic. And kind of pulls back a little bit and looks at it very curiously. Timeline fragmentation? Different paths and similar?
Among other things. Are you... The word came to me, but I don't know if it was entirely my own. Are you familiar with something called the Arcanum?
Arcanum is a more archaic term similar to that which was followed after by Netherese magic and similar. It would usually refers to the older ages where there was a bit more, there was less restraints upon the arcane itself. It's more of a root word than anything primary. It speaks more to like a well of magic rather than
A root. Something connected to the source.
quite.
Directly. I kind of raise my eyebrow as if to indicate you're on the right track.
Interesting. Does it seem to are you saying that it seems to perhaps to want to feed and blossom into something more? That you're not saying he looks down the arm, and you see
I
like one of
smile
those
widely.
same. You see one of those eyes kind of getting close again.
The want is a human thing. This is.
You are. It's not just a new type. It is a. It is something that is an alternative spring.
Indeed. The more I researched, the more I realized magic has been separated and categorized so that we may understand it better. We create these schools so that we may specialize easier, and yes, it comes to us naturally after. I kind of like spark a little bit of that like evocation magic that I focused on in school. But this,
There is an old theory that magic as it is, especially with the advent of the weave, as it was, well, when it was first cast to tame magic in the way, shape, or form that it was, allowed it to draw upon connections and to harness like you would a beast, as it would be the first leashings of, for example, a wolf that eventually has now slowly over time become those of loyal companions as dogs and the like. This is, for what you're saying, is that this is more like the original beasts once more, still untamed and fresh and full of potential, but raw and unfiltered and unrefined.
not a beast. It is energy, potential.
Quite,
It
but
does not require to be tamed. It merely requires respect. You can't tame a fire, but you can tap into it.
the dwarves would disagree with you, whereas certainly you can tame a fire and to build and forge and to direct it to harness its energy.
You're not taming it. It does not change its nature. You have to adapt to it. The dwarves have just created.
I agree with you.
forms.
I do agree with you. What I was simply saying as a comparison is that the magic as we know it, as you said, in terms of the schools, it has been a source of power that has been split and refocused and split and refocused to the point where it is easy to access and to use and to manipulate in a way, shape, and form that is easily repeatable and accessible. What I am simply saying in this fashion for you is that this, as you said, is a source, the wellspring, but it is a immensely powerful tool, but does require significant focus and will in order to direct it and respect it in a fashion, because it is significantly powerful as a wellspring.
You see that, like, Allegan is his brows drawing together. He is frustrated with the inaccuracy of that statement. And he kind of just blurts out, "No, it is alive."
How can it be alive? Halligan.
How are you?
You said that it requires direction, and that usually means that it has no will, no mind of its own.
I was mistaken. I thought, like a teacher, and maybe that is my failing, that my experience is so limited. I thought that I was teaching it, but no. It just needed the tools to enact its own will. If I work for this Knight Captain, I do not lose my humanity because I work for another. I am merely choosing to obey. But that can change tomorrow or 10 years from now. The magic is like that. It has been... We think of the weave as a barrier, but I think it is a net that has ensnared something that even the gods fear.
A primordial font.
Something greater than even them. They use it. They have entrapped it. But it is. And at this, I'm gonna kind of try to reach out to this entity that I have created and see if it wants to, like, say anything.
Make an intelligence check.
Is this an intelligence check that I would like to fail? Is this, if I fail it, it has the ability to reach out, or is this...
No, this is something you want to succeed because it would then be reacting to your thoughts then at that point in time.
Okay. How many... Can I steal one of those boons, guys?
Go for it. We've got 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna add a d6 to that. You'll love to see it. That's a 3, so 12 plus 3 plus 5 is 19.
20. Flat 20.
20. Dirty 20 then.
You focus your mind onto the inky blackness that kind of swirls and moves around in your arm. You know that it's not empty. There is thought within it. And you focus on it, you kind of cast your thoughts into it. And there is a moment where it doesn't immediately respond. Before you hear a sharp intake of breath from Lucanus. And you look down again, and you see...
Who?
You made
From
me
Lucanus.
You said...
Lucanus. Lucacius, thank you.
An Italian has
Lucacius.
entered the building.
An Italian has entered the building from Lucacius. And you see on that same almost kind of the inky blackness where it's almost like seems as if it's like filled with small motes of starlight. And you see this pale golden almost fish swimming through it. And followed by another 2, 5, 8, and then slowly increasing in number. Almost kind of this swirling of not a single individual thing, but this slowly growing multitude of many small things coming together to create something much grander. And you hear not a one voice, or although it speaks in one voice, but more like a chorus, soft chorus of 1,000 smaller voices speaking together. And they say, "What languages do you speak?"
I speak Celestial, Common, and Elvish.
Right. You do not understand what they speak then at the point in time, but listening to them say this, you feel the sudden warmth rush over you, followed by an intense cold. And then you feel sweat beginning to drip across your brow and along the rest of your pores, and the table itself, you can hear the slight creaking groan as greenery sprouts from it. And you see Lucasius look down at it and then look up at you as the small lights fade away into that inky darkness once more. There's been always a curious question of if magic has always been and is a question of if it's part of the soul in its own way, shape, form, and matter, or if the two are intrinsically linked in that fashion. If that, and he points to your arm, is true, what you are carrying is not just a birth of a new form of magic, but perhaps an own form of existence in life in shape or form. It's, as you said, a wellspring that is what many gods would consider a being outside of their own creation, and what they would consider very, very dangerous, because it has and buys no, it has at that point in time is not bound to any will or design of their own, and as a mortal creation would be something that would challenge all conceived notions and bases as to what they might ask or offer to, well, any kind. That is enough power within it, possibly, if it was to be able to continue to grow, as to be something that would be mimicking the stuff that Awwor worked with.
Ursa,
Yes.
can I play you into secrets real quick?
Ko and Raya, could I have the two of you mute up, please?
Just
Yeah.
super quick.
Otherwise, you guys won't react.
Fair enough.
Alright, do you want us to hop down to DM Whispers, or would you like us to just stay here and
We can just stay here real quick.
Okay. Okie dokie.
Alan, for the entirety of his life, has fought the existence of the church, the idea of religious fervor.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question. Allegan, for the first time in his life, I think is having like what would like equate as a religious kind of like awakening. Would
Sure.
it be possible to form the equivalency of a paladin's bond or something like that with this?
Interesting.
This is Allegan reaching out to this thing. This entity, this wellspring.
Interesting.
This is Allegan actively trying to do this.
I would say yes. This is something that
Okay.
you absolutely could do because it is in its simplest efforts is that this is kind of the creation of a unbound deity.
Yeah.
In its like most base form, like it's the fomenting of its incarnation at this point.
Yeah. And not to become like to force this thing to be like come a god, but just to be like, this is a thing that I believe in, and because it is this like it is literally like the art of creation, like the idea and like aspect of putting forth work and not necessarily doing good, but just the art of doing. That this is something that he can truly believe in, because like the gods try to put themselves as these like paragons of good unless they're like evil, and like this is for the first time something that Allegan truly believes in.
Okay. So you weren't trying to instill it with kind of an intent, or are you trying to give an oath to it?
I'm just trying to promise this thing to foster its will. Like, I will act in the ways that this thing wants.
Okay.
That he wishes, he says basically kind of like in his mind, it's like, I'm going to try to make you be whatever it is that you want to be, but I also want to like keep enough of myself so that I am still a person and not just an agent of your will.
Okay, so you're offering your belief to it.
I'm offering my belief, and I'm also offering my like almost like a sense of my will to like act within its wants. So if this thing says like, you know, I don't want you to do this because I think this is a bad thing to do, the Allegan will listen to it. I think there is a level of trust he has in this that he has not had in anything else other than the terrace.
Okay, so what I want you to do is, at this point in time, I want you to go ahead and make me a charisma saving throw then.
Great. Oh my god. That's a natural 20.
Okay. So
with charisma save, that would be a 22.
You, as an individual who has a very strong sense of will and determination, and who has, for much of their life, your belief is set in the things that you can see and touch and to define, and to not rely on things that may promise power in an equivalent or unequivalent exchange, and the fact that you will get by through your own mental acuity and similar efforts. For you, as someone who has then now has this fostering, ironically enough, twice now, brought into by proxy beings of reflections of life in their most pure form, in some way, shape, or form, or in perhaps some way, shape, form, there is some connection between these two things. There's a moment in that connection where you do feel your mind connect in that promise, in that oath and pact of intent and will, because you want to see this, whether entity, thing, being, force of will, flourish and thrive. But you also want to see it and view it in that way, shape, and form in which it does expand and grow and become more. With that, upon your mind kind of touching it upon that sense and connecting with it, it's a blossoming moment where for you, like in terms of actively connecting with it, that you feel this surge of raw energy flow into your mind and into your body, and you realize that one of the reasons that while it has shifted and changed significantly of late, but also then with you in the process of the consumption of the phase spider, the radiant energy from the planetar, and similar, that these are all pieces of a greater whole, and finding and feeling that energy suddenly, you find yourself almost looking at the edge of a dam, and beyond is a massive reservoir, the kind of which that were the dam to come down, you would probably leave your mind just blank and empty, because it would be scored clean from the rushing flow of water. But you begin to feel like kind of this, beginning to kind of turn these wheels and find this slow release of water, still pushing and rushing fast, but beginning to flow in that slow surge, beginning to rise and crest onto the rocks below and begin to fill up and flow back to that ocean of magic that you know, and perhaps add to it or divert and create its own ocean in the process. And for you, because the charisma saving throw, you feel that there's this agreement, or not necessarily agreement, but acknowledgement or acceptance. And Lucacius watches, and you almost see kind of this sudden slight out-of-body experience as the tattoo on your arm, which is normally dark black, like almost all of it black, bursts into a brilliant myriad array of colors and texture patterns and weaves that flow up and down the entirety of the arm and across your skin, and it suddenly just surges across the pectoral muscles, and you can feel it then flow down to the other arm at this point. And it just almost like this wave just washes over you. It doesn't flow up to your neck, and it doesn't flow down like to your stomach area at this point in time, but it flows like across your pectoral muscles, down your other arm, and across your back. And there's this surge of energy that almost ripples through you. And
the alligator just starts crying.
Which, when you cry, and when you look up again, Lucacius says to you that your eyes are rainbows.
Oh. That's think with that, Elegant's just gonna pass the fuck out. Alright, let's get everybody else in here. I'm not crying, you're crying. They're gonna have to fucking go get this. It's like the equivalent of your friend who gets sloppy drunk after you leave.
Oh yeah, 100%.
What?
You guys are gonna have to pick me up. I'm passed out.
Yeah, Elegant made a decision.
Of course.
I don't think it's a bad one. You guys gotta come get me. I'm passed out. Everything's fine. No, but my tattoo is significantly bigger.
Yes. Yep. Which at this point in time, we will then go and hop over to a terrace and Raya. You two are out and about through having departed out from the restaurant and are now wandering through kind of the various different shops. And there's definitely kind of a light tension in the air. You can see that there is guard presence in most locations at this point in time, but most of them definitely look kind of still a little bit dazed, and you can definitely tell and see that the people are moving around with not necessarily the confidence that they are quite used to. But what are the two of you out and about looking for?
I'm muted. So, you said you have somewhere to be?
Just a stop that I had to make. I had to, make a stop at my old place of employment. Following up on something.
We can stick to buddy system, or if you wanted to make things quick, we can part ways and I'll go pay for your blade and you can take care of business and we meet back at the restaurant.
Right. Okay. Actually, no. Let's go ahead and just keep a buddy system for right now.
Fair enough. Which one would we get to first?
You are going to pay for.
I'm paying for the dancing blade.
Yeah, so that's actually on the way back in the Coliseum. You're up within the city itself and not this point. So it'd be Raya's, and then ironically enough, actually be Raya's, and then you would probably actually want to go back, collect Elegant, and then go pay for the blade because the blade is on the way back towards your camping site.
And if I were to want to restock my flame arrows, that would also be on the way.
Probably. That's because that would be like kind of the same area. Because again, like it was by the Coliseum that were all the various different like magical item vendors and the like. Because that was where the merchant dukes allowed the vendors to set up shop for the Coliseum events.
Easy.
But so for you, Raya, we will first go to the.
Yeah, I'll just go with Raya.
Okay. Alright, so Raya, then we go to the Dancing Butterfly and Embrace and Lady Butler Club. Which, when the two of you arrive, you would see that there is a fair number of the guards out front, and like a good 20 or 30 or so.
As extra security or because of an active crime scene?
Do you go and ask?
Yes. Raya's gonna try to walk in.
Alright, you are allowed to walk in. Which at this point in time, as you do, you can see that there are still customers like kind of inside, like nearby. But you don't see the Madame anywhere.
if around a time that the Madame would be in their office, or what? Just have to ask
You-
around.
You know that she's actually rarely in her office, and she's more usually much more on the floor. Actually, indoors more of a strangeness than anything else.
I would try to catch the attention of one of the waiters that I worked with.
Okay. They come over and there's a fair number at this point in time, and most of them they kind of come over at this point and say, "Raya, dear, what are you doing here? It's certainly not coming back to look for work. I know the Madame was not necessarily your biggest fan last time because of it. The scandal of it."
No. Actually, I came to talk with the madam. Where are they right now?
She's in her office. She's a bit preoccupied. Actually, one of the captains of the guards, actually more than a few of the local merchant leaders, as well as also, ironically enough, the actual commander of the guard have stopped on in to speak on a few different things. It's a bit of a tense situation right now, if you haven't caught.
Yeah.
And she turns to look at us, and who is this lovely?
Oh,
Ryan, this isn't who you're not slinking around with, are you?
No.
Could be going to break the hearts of so many of the other girls here.
Keep my wife's name out of your
Shut up. You're unconscious. Shut up.
Terrace is just like,
No, this is like, this lovely lady is Terrace. Is actually one of my teammates, and I do apologize.
Teammates,
I do apologize.
right? I
No,
completely. She gives you a wide wink.
Raya, what have you been telling
Be nice.
people?
She's spoken for. I haven't told anybody shit.
Dear, don't worry. It's more than enough fun to just rile him up. He gets very flustered very easily.
I do. So, I do have a question. Do you think it's like, do you think I should wait, or do you think it would be much more to the Mountain's advantage if I tend to interrupt?
Honestly, I'm not sure. They seemed pretty serious when coming in, so it might... I mean, given how everything all of a sudden kind of deteriorated quickly, it's an odd one. Whatever happened at the Colosseum earlier has thrown the whole town into a frenzy more than anything else.
I see. You said that the guard captain was there?
The guard commander, yes. Well, I've been working most of the day, so I haven't caught most of the full story, and so aside from the fact that apparently there's this giant metal monstrosity that erupted out of the ground and started destroying things. But certainly, at least there's been enough of a strangeness amongst the guards and people that there's this weird energy in the air.
I understand that. Tell you what, I'm just gonna go. I'll go ahead. Make myself known. If I need to come back later, I will.
You do that, love, and come back on any time. We'll always be happy to give you a show.
That's much appreciated. And Raya walks towards the office.
All right. As you walk towards the office, you kind of go up one of the set of stairs. When you get to the top of the stairs, you see there's a pair of guards standing, fancy-looking ones, that are standing at the edge of the hall. And as you do approach, they kind of hold up a hand, like, "Oh, private meeting. The ladies in talks at the moment. If could you please turn around and leave?"
Normally, I would say yes, but this is rather imperative. And if the guard commander is there too, he might be able to make an excuse for the both of us.
And you are.
Raya and the terrace of the Marked.
You see that guard kind of like, yeah, he looks confused, like, who are you? And the other one kind of like perks up his leg and kind of like, gives him they're the ones that were in the big fight in the Coliseum earlier. I say, you lot? There's only two of you?
No, four of us. One of them is one of us has business elsewhere. The other one is in a conversation with someone else in the city. But that's but
All right, fine, wait here. He turns and walks down the hall, and you can hear there's a bit of a muffled conversation after knocking on the door, and then you see coming back, followed behind by a individual dressed in kind of in a breastplate and a fur-lined cloak, as well as a kind of a larger golden helm in the shape of an screaming eagle. You see a very tired-looking, older, grizzled individual. This better be good. What?
yes, I have to deliver something to the madam before I leave. Unfortunately, this cannot wait. I know you're.
And what would it be? I'm happy to deliver to her, or you can leave it with her staff downstairs.
This is something I need to deliver personally.
Kid, what are you trying to deliver?
Well, I made some. She made some bets on me. I am here to make good on those bets.
Make a persuasion check.
All right. I can work with this. I'm gonna go ahead and just use a boom just in case, because that's a 16 already. Plus 5, that's 21.
21. You can see the individual kind of give a heavy sigh, like, yeah, you're not going, like the whole, this guy's not going to go away unless they actually let him do the thing that he wants to do. Come on. He turns and walks down the hall.
Raya goes ahead and walks after him.
He opens the door at this point in time, and inside you can see the madame, as well as also a guard captain, as well as what looks to be a trio of fairly well-to-do merchants, as well. And then, ma'am, this individual says he has something to deliver to you. And you see the madame kind of like look up, like eyes still in this face. Right. You are choosing a very interesting time in order to stop by again. What can I do for you?
Well, the last time we parted, first, I do apologize for interrupting this. I would not do so if it wasn't important. Last time you left, you did let me leave with a little bit extra right there. Due to the events going down right there, I feel like now would be a good time to return the favor. And Raya kind of digs into his pocket and he pulls out a pouch and hands it to the madam. And can I make a sleight of hand to whisper something to her? to them.
Sure.
All right. I'm actually good at this. 26.
Are you whispering something, or are you like actually like candy?
No. When I'm handing the bag to her, I'm also whispering something.
Okay. What are you whispering?
I figure since everyone important comes right here in the Tormero, it'd be pretty good to have a bit of a starting fund to make sure you can bargain with the people you need to.
And in the bag, Raya gives 500 platinum pieces and 3,000 gold pieces.
Now you realize that's not like a small pouch. That's like a chunk. That's like a 5-pound bag of coin that you just go chunk.
I mean, you did say
Oh,
that she made a bet.
It's like no. He's whispering it, and then he's going to do. He's whispering it, and then he's just gonna let it chunk.
All right. Duly noted. Thank you, Raya. I appreciate paying back. One always looks to pay back their debts, certainly. Is that right, gentlemen? There's a faint kind of muttering among the merchants. Say, Raya, I have an interesting request for you at this point in time. Would you be interested in coming to work for me as an administrator of sorts? By the sounds of it, these gentlemen all very interested in me taking up a position of significant interest here within the city, since I've been able to keep this place running along as long as I have.
That is that's so kind of you, madam, but unfortunately I do have business elsewhere that requires my attention. However, if you ever have need of me, you can always request of me whenever. Well, me and anyone else in my party. And he gives just and he's very genuine with them, but to the others, he just gives a smart bow. It's like, I do apologize for interrupting. I think you all should get back to negotiating, so to speak.
Have a good night, Ryan. And I will certainly I will certainly contact you again in the future. I'm sure there will be some amount of work coming that we'll have dug up for you by then.
All right, later, skaters. And Raya kind of just leaves.
All right. So you depart out and pick up the terrace along the way.
He's really happy that he kind of sort of just dropped a proverbial bomb in the room.
Indeed. Alright, so the two of you head back to the restaurant to pick up Allegan. At which point, you would see Lucacius Drawn kind of sitting on a wall with a kind of like, for all intents and purposes, smoking a cigar. And you can see propped up on his staff next to him, sitting on the wall, is the unconscious form of Allegan.
What happened?
Dear. Oh dear. Allegan happened, didn't he?
Ateris is immediately like at Allegan.
Dr. Hugh makes some very interesting choices in his current
Oh,
I can't call it quests per se, but in his
Say.
line of work.
just call it hubris and be done with it.
Spell it with an H-U-E.
Well, he is a fellow colleague after all. I would not be surprised if at least part of that comes with the territory. He is fine, he's breathing, pulses are all moderately normal if slightly elevated, but I do believe that a rush of significant magic to his brain caused a, well, for lack of a better term, an unexpected momentary reset. He should be fine with some sleep.
Oh.
We had to control
Doc.
delete him.
Doc, come on. Only one of us is allowed to have minor to severe brain damage.
So Terrace, for you, as you're kind of like gone over now to Alec at this point in time, you can see he's thoroughly unconscious. Like the only thing that's kind of like partially keeping him up is the fact that Lucasius has leaned him on his staff and he's just like kind of partially draped over it.
She is picking him up bridal style, giving a sigh.
I would say,
Oh.
if the terrace is that close, you would see like the tear tracks on his face.
Yep. You would see like kind of these faint tear marks through the dust across his face. I would say with picking up as well, you would also know that kind of probably like to his wrist as well, that from his right arm all the way down to his left wrist as well, you would see the hints of a black and rainbow tattoo.
I'm gonna fucking redraw my whole goddamn character sheet because of you, Ursa.
You're the one that decided to do it.
Because of him. This is you.
You make one paladin pact and everything goes to shit.
What?
I love that you and I are swapping places. Having been a paladin and with my broken oath, how much of that can I feel / see vibe-wise?
Make a religion check. Make a wisdom-based religion check for me.
A wisdom-based religion check. That is 18 plus 2 for a mod 20.
You can definitely tell, but with some amount of significance, that Allegan has either touched or been touched by something that, if not divine or divinely natured, is something very similar to it, or of a same power scale to it. And it's an almost comforting warmth to you, because it's something that you find it's very familiar to you and reflective in that same sense.
I think she...
And as you do, though, you hear a voice in your head that says, where are you? wear the barriers with temperance power tempered. The night always watches.
Would I recognize that?
You would. Well, not that particular phrase itself, but it is something that is similar enough in terms of the teachings and guidance of Helm
Mm-hmm.
that reverberates through you.
I hope you know.
Absolutely not.
I hope you're satisfied. Very well. I am going to get my fiance to a bed. Shall we, Raya?
Yep. You want to carry them the entire time, or do I?
I'm fine with this.
Alright.
Take a nap right here.
It probably
Probably
isn't
easy
the
if you come over
first
your
time
shoulder.
a terrace has, like, carried him.
It is not. In fact, we know specifically that it is not.
But, no, she'll carry
Alright.
him.
Alright.
Okay.
Sir Loquacious, we bid you a leave.
Good evening, good luck, and if I do not see you before I depart on the morrow, if you need to get a hold of me, he passes over to one of you a card with a silver sparrow on it.
Probably would take it since the terrace's hands are full.
Simply, when you need to reach me, rip the card in half and inform the familiar that arrives from it what you wish to impart, what knowledge or request you need to impart towards me.
Alright.
Safe journey.
He picks up his staff and gives a light bow to all of you. And to all of you, I feel that this is perhaps a step onto the bigger stage for all of you. There will be many trials still to come, I believe, and new allies to meet, but be careful who you trust. Good evening.
Good evening.
He turns and he takes a step and vanishes.
Alright. So, maybe it's just me, but maybe Allegan still needs the buddy system more than either of us right now.
I'm not worried about that, though I am looking forward to poking him just a little upon his waking about cavorting with the likes of making pacts with things.
Above table.
Above table.
Hates gods. Accidentally becomes a paladin of his own god.
Yeah. Well, okay, I'm trying to become a paladin of pure magic is the goal right now.
You're not necessarily a paladin, you're becoming more of a conduit.
Still, I love that you and I are
It's
changing
the closest
places.
thing he has.
It is. It
Uno
is so
reverse,
funny to
bitch.
me.
So yeah. I just wanted to reach out and see what the fuck is up. And I promised to.
Alright,
try to
let's.
further its will.
Sure thing. Let's go to pay for that sword.
Alright, so you head to the Colosseum.
You just bring in an unconscious wizard.
Yeah, a terrace
Easy enough,
is just
you were
kind of
able to-
like, yeah.
Yeah, easily enough, you were able to acquire in order to pay off the payment of the weapon itself, which the smith there is in a very good mood because you told him it and he took you at your word and placed a fairly large bet and made off very, very well. But yeah, so I believe that was 14,000.
Yep.
Yeah, so it was. Alright, so you spend the 14,000 gold and you now get to keep the Sword of Speed, or the dancing swords, you mean.
Yeah.
And then you wanted to go and buy some magical arrows, which at this point you can tell that there's a lot of people that are kind of actually gathering up and either repacking stuff up or fixing up shops that were destroyed in the attack itself, because this whole marketplace was one that was unfortunately hit by a number of the disintegration beams. So there are people who have unfortunately been eliminated because of it. But I would say that with that you'd be probably able to buy another 4 cold arrows and 4 fire arrows, which I believe are like 100, 125 a pop.
Okay. I'm still good on ice arrows at the moment. I just need the fire arrows.
Alright, so you can buy 4 of those for if it's for 400, 425, so for 500 gold you can buy 4 of them.
Easy.
Alright. But most people at this point in time are kind of closing down shop at this point in time. There's definitely some that it looks like as if they're getting eager because they've heard about like the whole different thing and situation that's kind of still kind of brewing within the city and are hanging around to see whether or not there's some fighting that is going to erupt and make a profit off of that, while others have heard the fact that there might be some fighting soon and are very quickly packing up and departing town. But for all of you at this point in time, you're able to head back to your wagon, and at this point in time, kind of after a very long day, early to rise, significant event at the Coliseum, late night dinner, Allegan passing out, and then wandering through the streets once more, you all head to the wagon and I presume prepare for a long night's rest.
Yes, much needed.
Raya would, while he is prepared, he would try to go ahead and get out those ventilating lungs and start trying to attune them.
Okay.
A terrace will be
You start
reading
to
her
try.
book.
All right. Start to
How long
try.
am I
How much?
taking a
How?
nap?
You are unconscious. Like you're out. Ateris, how long are you planning to read your book?
A terrace will read her book pretty much until she's ready for sleep. So let's say 2 or 3 hours.
Okay, so you're not. This is going to bypass a long rest. That's the main thing I'm wondering. Like, are you reading the
Yeah.
night through, or are you?
No, she needs a long rest.
Okay. Alrighty. So, you do that. Okay. All right. Eventually, you pass out asleep next to Allegan at this point in time. Do you prep Allegan for bed, or do you just kind of like leave him in his clothes?
She would prep him. She knows how
Okay.
uncomfortable he get.
Then you would see that the tattoo has gone from his one right arm all the way up the left, all the way up up to the shoulder, across both pectorals to the kind of like right above, right at the base of the rib cage, and then along his back, his shoulder, and down, almost trailing down the spine, and then down the left pectoral, shoulder, and arm all the way to the wrist.
I think she makes a personal note of this. Probably traces her fingers along the markings.
And it's a mixture of black and opalescent shimmering rainbow.
Yeah, she would trace her fingers along those lines. Oh,
It feels warm, and when you do have kind of your hands tracing against it, there almost feels like a second heartbeat to it. Very faint.
I think she just kind of speaks out aloud to him, despite the fact that he's unconscious. Mama's not going to be very impressed with your new ink work, but don't dislike it. Though you are going to get quite the ribbing, and if there were any argument beforehand, you absolutely cannot complain about my own packs now. I think she'll finish preparing him, give him a kiss on the head. Raya, are we taking watch shifts?
You can't say shit now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we can.
Did you want me to take the shit shift, or do you want me to take first?
I'll take the second shift.
Alright. Make sure you wake me then.
No,
Tanner
wait.
Tanner
wait.
comes over
That's
this.
not right. That's not right. I'll take the first shift. Sorry. There we go.
Tanner at this
Alright.
point in time comes over and like lays his head against Algin's stomach. Just the heavy oomph.
And Terrace will give Tannerl a pat. Well, don't forget to wake me.
I won't. I did promise I'd try to take somewhat better care of myself. Alright.
You'll do fine.
Alright. So as you all kind of pass off in to sleep in dreams once more, you all complete a long rest uninterrupted. For you, Alkin, it's one that feels like you're swimming in a vast lake beneath stars, and you can't tell where the sky begins and ends.
Elegant has had his first, like, ashwagandha trip. Okay. How's my eyeballs doing, boss?
You haven't
His what? His what?
you haven't had a chance to look at them yet, so
I would like to look at my eyeballs, please.
well, we'll get that in a second.
God damn it.
Because in the morning, actually, kind of technically before. So who's taking morning? I think it's what you,
That
Terrace.
was a Terrace, yeah.
You still tired at this point in time, like about 7:30 in the morning. You would hear kind of this faint, jaunty tune whistle come down the lane, and you would see an individual wearing a heavy cap and a postmail bag, and bearing the image of a hippogriff. They come to the edge of the lot itself and call out, pardon me, is this the marked?
Indeed. Who's asking?
I got Hippogriff Post. I got a package here for Mr. Hugh.
Sure thing. Ateris will go fetch that.
You go get it, and it's less of a package and more like when you when he hands it over to you, you get the feel and weight of it, and it feels like wrapped in brown paper, and there's a letter on the front. What feels like a thick sheaf of papers.
Oh no, they're the divorce papers.
Homework.
Eyeball part.
Alright, so what do you do with it? Elgin and Ryan are both still sleeping.
Can I see who it was from?
It says from
Please don't be from Sam. Please don't be from Sam. Please don't
it is indeed from Sam. It is from the Wash Academy.
Shit.
This would be interesting. Would a terrace open it is the question.
You
So there's the pack of
absolutely
papers. So
would is the problem.
So there's the pack of papers, and then there's the letter on the front.
I don't think you'd open the letters, but absolutely fucking open that package. Don't lie to me. You've committed mail fraud.
Yeah, she absolutely has. She is going to... You know what? I don't even think she kind of thinks about it because she's used to opening his packages for him. I feel like usually when they've been living together, if he's like in the midst of an experiment or something, it's always, yep, open that for me, let me know what's in it. So I think she would take a precursory sort of glance at the letter and then, while sitting beside Allegan, would open up the package.
So, like, how precursory a glance? Like, do you open it and, like, quickly glance through it, or...?
I think so, yeah. Just a quick glance to, like, sort of make sure that, oh yeah, it's probably just school stuff.
The letter is only about a page long, and it begins the words, "Dear Allegan."
That's,
Awwor, a terrorist commits a felony.
Would a terrorist know that is whether that is the normal greeting from Sam to Allegan?
That is typically one of the more normal greetings from Sam to
Okay.
Allegan, yes.
Yeah.
Alright. So, dear Allegan, yada yada yada. Are there any,
I know we haven't really properly spoken aside from a few brief messages, but I must be truthful with myself in that I have been missing our normal talks of late.
Oh, good, he's not mad right now.
It has been good to hear from you and your updates despite how you departed. As for the school year, it has been a productive one, albeit there have been a few complaints from parents expressing concerns in regards to the new curriculum put forward by the administrative faculty. Self-defense lessons have seen a marked increase in the last month, much to the chagrin of a few of the more pacifistic members of the staff, but we have taken it in stride. I received the official enrollment documents for one Allo. A curious case to be sure, but I will do my best to ensure that they are treated with respect and are mindful of the various students here. It shall be a wonderful task to engage such a different mind. Do you continue?
Yeah, she's just like grazing through it, yeah.
As for your adventures, vampires and werewolves, I hope that you have not contracted one of their curses. I do still think on occasion we should bring the idea of pre-inoculation against their effects to the headmistress as a way to help prevent any unwanted or unfortunate occurrences within the school itself, although I know it would be a touchy subject. especially amongst those with religious connections. I do vaguely remember the individual you speak of, though. Short, long nose, seemed constantly disappointed with the prospects and fellows around her. I can't say I'm surprised that she turned out to be the type you're describing, since she seemed more interested in the end product of some of our research rather than ensuring it came about in an ethical manner. Speaking of which, I did indeed receive your drawings of the various samples and mutations of flora and fauna that you have encountered during your travels, and I must say that the natural world never ceases to be a marvel. You should bring some samples with you upon your return. I'm sure a number of the faculty would take an interest in the discoveries you have alighted upon. And I also wanted to inform you that the drawings you sent in regards to the mutations of the marking in question have been nothing short of fascinating, to the point that I've been debating on inscribing one upon myself to see if there's a marked difference in mutation between a more controlled environment and the access to more wild and stressful environments that you have been
Oh
encountering.
no. Oh no.
I have
A
attached a number
terrace's
of various
brow
observations and
raises.
details in regards to the changes you have been seeing, as well as possibilities on expanding it further to allow for repair and augmentation of extreme damage. I look forward to hearing more of your journey and discoveries, Allegan. Despite our conflicts and moments of struggle, I am glad to hear you are doing well. Your friend, Sam.
Okay. She's gonna open the package.
You open up the package and it is filled with medical and arcane formula and sample and basically lab work, like pages and pages and pages of theoretical observations and diatribe and alchemical and arcane lab work and methodology and similar, to the point that it makes your brain hurt. And there's probably like 100 pages of this.
Guys, to nobody's surprise, Allegan's a nerd.
She'll sort of give it a cursory glance over the paperwork. It doesn't really catch her attention. Is there
Make an
anything
Arcana check.
Is there anything that does catch her attention though? In that.
Make an Arcana check. Well, okay, at that point, that time to make an investigation check then.
Okay, that's even better. Okay, that's much better. That's much better. Okay, that is a 21.
A 21. Interestingly enough, while in terms of like things, appears definitely to be a current theme running throughout of a vague mixture of how to combine organic and inorganic material to allow for the stability of increasing one's strength and tensile abilities and similar, and whether or not if the possibilities of adding additionally magically reinforced metallurgy and similar natural effects or the like would be something that could then be inscribed upon with such markings to allow for stability or to allow the regrowth of bones with a more durable material. And along with that, one thing that kind of catches your eye is a theoretical possible replacement of full like organic body parts and similar with metallic prosthetics, but to the point in time where they don't act like robots, but where they are naturally grown from the skin as a construct of magic itself via the transmutation of organic material into something inorganic as a possible kind of thought process. It seems more like in theory, but it's definitely an interesting aspect in regard to the development and cycle of creating something that it would be significantly more long-lasting and enduring than comparison to kind of modern flesh and bone.
Mm.
And the reason why this kind of like sticks in your mind, you actually haven't seen this individual. Never mind. So,
What?
for you then, at the point, the other thing that might catch your interest then is in the possibility that, and from what Algan has alluded to, is that creatures that have a more naturally magical base or lifeline to them, like particularly like those that have ethereal essences or similar, are more likely to cause advanced mutations within such markings rather than those if they were to be simply because of the fact also of the layers and areas in which they reside are typically more infused with natural magic. And Sam theorizes that the tattoo is actively reacting to it in a way that seems to be very much so like the graft of a plant in similar, where it is taking in outside sources to be able and expanding upon that so that it can flourish in its own way, shape, and form.
Okay. Sam doesn't mention the additional letters that the rest of us stuck in.
It is not.
Interesting. Also curious though, because Ateris is still paranoid about the school. Okay. We will leave it as is. And when Allegan wakes, she will simply say, well, it does seem that Sam is no longer upset with you.
Why do you say that?
He sent you aids to your research. She'll motion to the open package and letter sitting beside him.
Notes. And Allegan will just get up and very excitedly start flipping through.
Terrace, with your passive perception, you would see when Allegan's eyes open, that although they are his normal color, when they do kind of like turn into the light, they have this almost rainbow mirror-like sheen to them when they
have
catch
an
the light.
iridescence.
Oh crap! Allegan's now an upper moon.
I've got my own boss and everything now.
He's got
Allegan.
homophobia in the eyes.
God fucking damn.
Now everybody will know I'm gay. Damn it.
Allegan.
Yes, as he's just like flipping through.
Firstly, I do think
Uh,
you should let Sam know that perhaps he shouldn't be making his own experimentations with tattoos.
Oh, he also wrote the letter? He hasn't even looked at that yet. He is fully in the notes.
Yes. I
Wait.
thought that's
Yeah.
what you
I will
might have
put
gone for.
the whole letter into your correspondences, Midge.
I did think that's what you might have gone for first, but Allegan,
Yes. Kind of like rubs at his eyes a little bit. Sorry,
who
I've
did
just
you
woken up.
make a pact with?
What?
I was a paladin. I guess partially still am. I recognize a pact when it's done. There is no judgment, but
Well, You see,
Dear.
I am exploring the possibility of working directly with the arcane root of magic.
Okay. Good. You have a direction. But you are no longer allowed to poke any holes at me regarding making pacts. You are aware of this, right? She gives a grin.
It is incredibly different. You made a pact with a
A
slimy
powerful
little shit.
being
With a
capable
slimy little
of
shit.
a powerful being capable of assisting your personal growth. Sounds familiar.
Hey, there is incredible difference between the arcane root of magic. I am a wizard. The magic is a pact of its own every time you cast something. That's different, though.
Love. Dear.
Kind of looks up, kind of just. Yes. It's different.
She is very clearly grinning.
It's different. You made a deal with somebody you knew was untrustworthy, and I made a deal with the essence
Something
of
you
an
have
arcane concept.
Yes, I made a deal with someone who I know the nature of. Well, you made a deal with the
So
concept.
unlikable.
How loud are they being?
He's perfectly.
Oh,
You're,
I mean,
you are decently loud because you are all
No-
in like
normally-
close enough to wagon.
Terrace is like
Oh, yeah,
talking at
and
normal volume.
And Allegan is getting like more and more frustrated, so his volume is definitely increasing.
Raya
You
just
made it-
kind of just walks in on them while he's got like a pillow with Sappy's scarf wrapped about it. He's looking just like,
I thought you were about to say you have a pillow with Savvy's face on it, and I was about to
no,
If
he's
you
not
had
that much
done
of a loser.
the most like sad stitched
Okay.
rendition of Saffron's face.
Okay, so Raya just kind of just scratches his cheek and is like, so what's this I hear about Doc making a deal with Dave?
Its name
Yeah.
is not Dave. It is the root of magic before the gods got involved with it. It is primordial. It doesn't.
Wait, hold on. Wait, shut up. Wait a second.
Well, if
Wait,
this
wait.
thing has
Right?
if this thing has its own decisions, shouldn't it decide whether it wants to be called Dave? But we're getting off topic.
Wait, is that my
I
voice?
send a mental like back
Hold on.
bit of just for the love of all that is good, please.
I have no idea if this is coming through or not, but Raya sounds like a fucking Decepticon. Mechanical lugs. Wait, hold on.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Hold on, wait. And he kind of beats his chest a little bit, and then just oh, okay, that was weird.
You okay?
Yeah, I just replaced my old lungs with new mechanical ones.
I wanted to observe that for research.
Well, it's hard to observe when you're unconscious.
It was a lot, and I got a little bit emotional. Sorry that I connected with something that I've never even dreamed could possibly exist, and had big
Oh.
feelings about it.
I think
So
a terrorist.
you're describing what is called a divine experience. You saw the face of your
Not.
god.
It's not a god, it's a primordial being. There's a difference.
Do
It,
you
A
believe in him?
I
terrorist.
don't
I
have
think-
to believe in anything, it already exists. That's like believing in gravity, and planets, and stars, and how carbon-based life forms. It is
I think it.
different.
I think
Mirrors'
Iteris
eyes are
places a hand on Allegan's cheek. Regardless, I am happy you have found direction.
I already had direction. This was just a culmination. It is
Love.
Allegan,
Not
just
the-
take the compliment from your wife.
Let me be happy for
understand
you.
that I'm glad that you are happy for me. I, however,
You had a
want it to
direction.
be stated.
You did have a direction, and now you have even more of one. That is not a bad thing.
It
You have made direct connection with the very thing you have been developing. That is a major step.
Yes, it is. Thank you. I am just.
I am sorry if my poking of fun upset you.
It is not. You are fine. It's just. I am unused to the feeling of this. And he touches your hand on his cheek. I am happy that you are happy for me, but it is more than happiness. It is. It's like finding out the reason to something that you already knew existed, but now you know why. Why it does what it does, where it's come from. It is answers I did not even know to ask.
She nods.
All of it is connected, and it's not. It's. And I think at this point, Allegan kind of gets pensive and looks to Raya before returning to Iteris. You knew of my fears of what Mistra, that she was the culmination of all of it, and that was the end of the story. And there was a concern that all of my questions would have her at the end. And I feared that that's all there was. And I knew there was a potential that that wasn't the case, but having confirmation, having
It is freeing.
answers. It is. And to be able to commune with it, that this explains so much. We attune to magic that we don't understand why we can do that. You can give somebody who has never had a spark of arcane talent, and you can give them an item, and they have the potential to use it in a way that they would not be able to otherwise. And it's that aspect that we just have accepted for the longest time. That's why we can do it. It's been speaking to us all along, and we can finally hear it. I can finally hear it.
She nods.
I just. I think it's been alone for a long time, and not just alone, but trapped. And I know you've both, and at this he looks back to Raya, both has concerns about the direction I have been going. And I know that I keep secrets, and I know that my work is sometimes abrupt and violent in its actions, and I know that this is scary, and I don't want you to doubt my intention to do good, but it is also tempered by how much I do not know. And it's incredible to have so many questions answered and still have so much possibility to explore. But I know that
I think Ateris at this point sort of... She's still got her hand on Allegan's cheek. I'm not... Nor have I been concerned about what you would do with this. My concern has always been the secrecy required. If you cannot share something of your self, because let's face it, this exploration of this is part of you. If you cannot share that with me, then there is something very wrong with us.
of course, and
So
I
much
will
like you want me to trust you with this. That is what I've been asking you to trust me with my decisions. You're seeking for answers. You have just been given the same thing I have been searching for. The same thing that, while I understand you do not like it at times, Sidis is a key for. Just like how potentially, if
his face gets angry.
just like how potentially we may have to face down this siren for Raya to get answers. We are all searching for answers, and you have made a wonderful step forward. And I want to support that. And while I may, yes, poke fun a little, I do want you to know clearly, so that there is no doubt, that I know and I trust your intentions with this. It is just that I ask for no secrets.
And I will try not to keep such things from you again, either of you.
Hey, all I ask is that you remember to slow down sometimes and take care of yourself. You know, like having breakfast and some water too, because not gonna lie, being unconscious for what was it, 10 hours?
I will be honest, I am incredibly hungry.
Then let us get food and celebrate the fact that Sam is no longer wishing for your demise.
Oh, he's got science bestie back.
Yes, Sam has forgiven me for my incredibly stupid mistake.
Okay, you admit your mistake, and you got reconciliation too. Beautiful is like beautiful friendship.
Reconciliation.
Go with
I
it.
love.
Now, just make sure you don't fuck up.
I will do my best. Just
You'll do
know that
fine.
if I
Oh, there is one question I do have to ask. Does I know it's alive right now, but does Arcanus, does it like us to say hi to it every now and again too, or just
actually want to try something if I can. If you all are alright with it, I will try to let it communicate again. As
Oh. Okay.
without it being quite a shock, I think I can have a better reaction. And can I try and do that thing again where allowing it to like commune again?
Sure, go make a charisma saving throw.
Let's go.
Ateris will hold Allegan's hand during this.
Raya will place a hand on his wrist.
Can I use one of those inspirations?
Yeah, go for it.
I think that's our last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the last movie.
Okay, 16.
16. You again kind of like fall into that same mental space, and eyes kind of drifting from it. And two of you would watch as that rainbow iridescent shimmer that you had seen beforehand with Allegan grows in their eyes more intense, more vibrant. And you watch as against on the tattoo itself what looks to be these similar small fish moving around, like almost seeming to swimming and kind of back and forth across the whole, following along these streams of iridescent light on their tattoo, almost like following small threads up and down and around. And the two of you go ahead and make Arcana checks for me, please.
Are you sure? Okay.
Yep.
12.
Okay.
18.
18. For the two of you, like for you, Raya, it's kind of looking. It's like you vaguely recognize them following along these threads. Looks like they're almost trailing along, like almost patterns in some way, shape, or form. And looking at them makes your head hurt a little bit. For you, Ateris, you've been spending enough time along with Allegan that you can see that the threads that these fish are following, or they begin to kind of glow in brightness, look like spell formulae, but in a more organic fashion, like compared to like have like where there's usually very rigid lines and connection points for arcane magic. These are more like swirls and spirals and natural shapes that seem to kind of fade and disappear, and along with these fish and tattoos. And that same almost kind of gentle hum starts off again like a plucked string, and then more and more begin to kind of rise and flow through it until there's almost kind of this soft choral chord that reverberates around. Now again, you've had that same sense of kind of almost like sinking into water once again, almost as the just kind of like flowing over you gently. And as you do so, Ateris and Raya, the two of you would see looks to be almost coming out of the tattoo on Allegan's back, what looks to be these spools of string or thread that drifting out for them, you can see these small tentacles kind of flickering out from that tattoo, almost like anemone tendrils, before like he stops concentrating again and they retract into the tattoo.
Would we cast that as Dave waving at us?
Its name is not Dave.
But yeah, I'm not getting any brain damage from this, am I?
No, it's for you. It actually feels more comfortable. It's still like trying to figure out like kind of like hurts, but it is something more natural, very more closer and akin to kind of like the giant runes that you've been practicing with, but as opposed to like mathematical equations and remembrance, this seems more like it's based closer onto a natural flow of energies.
That didn't really hurt as much. Or much at all, honestly.
And how are you feeling? Go look at Al again.
Me? Oh,
How am I feeling? Yeah.
You feel actually, all things considered, pretty good. Like it's strange. Like usually after something like this, that you are almost exhausted. Like your body is almost has for time and time like would fought or just try to get used to this sudden rush and influx of energies. It feels good. It feels healthy.
It feels right.
Good.
In a way, a lot of things have not.
A terraceal smile. Good. Well then, with your Arcanum having officially met us, and you feeling good, shall I hunt something down, or are we heading into town for breakfast?
I eat quite a bit, so I'm thinking we go into town.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Oh, while we're talking and while we're going, Doc, I can go ahead and regard on the tale that I might have just tipped a power struggle in here in someone's favor because they were nice to me.
Is that a good idea to mess with local politics?
Oh, it's perfectly fine. They run a burlesque club.
That does not assuage my concerns at all.
A Terrace is remembering the whole like politics game she used to have to do and just like pinches the bridge of her nose.
There's a
It's really
faint
interesting.
knock, knock, knock on the wagon door.
Guys, if you get magic,
Oh dear.
I'd line itself.
Raya goes out. Raya goes out to see who's outside.
You open the door. You open the door like a fully. You open it a crack.
I open it fully.
You would see they're kind of dressed in the, looking a little bit tired, but dressed in kind of a much more comfortable morning garb. You would see Shalestra Thornhand.
Oh, hello there.
Good morning.
All right. Would you like to come in, or?
A wagon with 3 people feels very cramped already. I simply came
Oh, yeah,
by...
yes. Look, come on. Raya steps outside. Okay.
Right, yeah, you step outside and some hands around. And she pulls out in a bag. She pulls out in a small chest that she passes over to you. Inside, you will find the writ of authority granted upon you by, signed by Laurel Silverhand, as well as also Lucasius Strawn and my own self, Shalestra. Within it, you will find, along with that, there are 2 weeks' wages. So there is 2,000 gold, as one of your compatriots has waived their portion of the to be paid, and as well as also then at that point for their endeavors to instead look for protection for their compatriots. As well, also within, you will find a marker that will allow for entry into a space that will grant you, at least for the moment, temporary access to to a small building that has been made available for a safe house for all of you. Simply activate. It will, for the moment of time, last for a period of time until your compatriot, I would suggest, learn the teleportation circle spell. But from there, it would allow you then to safe access and entry into the building whenever you so need it. It currently is fairly bare bones, but put in a request for us, and we will see it furnished in the amount in which you would need it to be applied for your various uses.
Thank you.
That mighty kind of you.
There's no kindness in this. It is a simple matter of fact that we have need of individuals that can help solve a possibly significant problem. If I do find that you are wasting my time and are running me around the ringer, I will be more than happy to see you disposed of and put to a point before a judge to elicit the lack of use of resources and then see them out. Make no mistake that at this point in time, you are our best bet in ensuring that this evil, whatever it is, does not rear its head further than here within the border kingdoms.
Ateris is just
I
smiling.
am not one to trifle with.
He's familiar with this sort of stuff.
You're the one who approached us for the job, and believe it or not, we are not one to do things half-assed. If you think we're the ones for the job, we're the ones for the job.
I do think you are one for the job, but your compatriot asked me to be more straightforward last night, and rather than dancing around with politics, so hence this is what I am doing. I am informing you of my intent. I do trust you, I do believe in you, but I also wish you to understand that a waste of resources gets people killed. Good people. And I would not want to see that happen. I trust you to do your job.
The mistress is simply doing her job. Just as we do ours.
Good luck to you. And
to
I
you.
do mean that sincerely.
I look forward to liaisoning with you with information.
As do I. She gives a slight nod to the head to you and to Raya. I'm assuming because Elegant did not come out. And then she will turn and take her leave.
Allian is trying to have as little to do with her as possible.
Yep, fair enough.
For multiple reasons.
What? Who knows?
Alright.
Huh. Shall we?
All right. So, you all gather up your things, dress for the day, and go and get breakfast without too much issue. In which you actually are all informed about that during this time period that at least the town has been informed that the merchant overdukes have departed from Emrys, in at least the public stories, the merchant dukes have departed from Emrys, finding that they had the opportunity for better parts of field and have, as such, instilled the Madam Matron of the Burlesque Club, the Brazen Butterfly and Buckler Club, as the current head of Emrys Keep, and will be appointing advisors and individuals within the coming days to help maintain order within the city once more. With that, then, the day itself is yours to do with what you will, as well as also to discuss as to where you want to head to next. So, I think we will leave it here for tonight, and this will give us a little bit of time to talk about whether or not off-screen as to whether or not where you all want to head to next. And when we come back next time, we will be departing from Emrys.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you all, everybody, very much, everybody, for joining us on this session of And We Went Out Roving, where Allegan certainly made decisions. And an appointment has been provided to the group at this point in time, which, as well as also a teleportation key for access to a possibility of a mobile home base, you don't know, left to be discovered, as well as also some extra coin and a writ of authority. So you are all now technically, you actually now have the responsibility of actual proper adventurer guilds that are underneath the, I don't know if yoke or leash is the appropriate term, but at least under the watchful eye now of Silvery Moon and Waterdeep, along with the authority that comes with it.
Oh, joy.
Indeed. Thank you all very much, everybody, for joining us this evening. We'll pick up next time with the group deciding as to where they're heading to next. Have a lovely rest of your evening. We all love you very much, and have a wonderful, wonderful week. Take care!
Yeah. Bye-bye, guys. Make sure you look after yourselves. Tell someone you love them today. And if you can't behave, don't get caught. We are going to raid over to the Vactaire. They are playing Age of Streams Mistwalkers. Go give them some love. We will see you guys next time. Bye-bye!